Good morning, everybody. This is Jamie with Everything Airplanes. Welcome to my channel. Today I have a unique experience interviewing Troy Thrash, the President and CEO of Kalamazoo Air Museum. Troy, I appreciate the opportunity for you to let me come in and have some of your time today. Give our listeners a little bit of what the Air Museum is focusing on right now during this COVID and how your programs have changed. I know you're huge into the STEM program, and I want to kind of highlight that, but I'll also be going through the museum later on to highlight some of the unique airplanes that you have here. So have at it.
Well, thank you, and welcome all of you to the Air Zoo. We are in our restoration center, what we call our Flight Discovery Center right now, and it's really a treat to be here with you. So I thank you for that. So yes, the Air Zoo is now 41 years old, and we have grown so steadily since having 5 aircraft, all named after animals, by the way, which is why we call ourselves the Air Zoo, to now over 100 aircraft and spacecraft. And certainly we were not immune in any way to the effects of the COVID pandemic. And I will say it was probably in my 8 years here, the most proud moment was how our team, the day we had to shut down on March 13th of 2020, I said, I want you to take care of yourselves, to take care of each other, and start thinking about taking care of the community by answering this. What do we need to look like here at the Air Zoo in every square inch of our 200,000 square feet of exhibit space? What do we need to look like to be as safe as possible for ourselves, for our volunteers, and most importantly for our guests who come in when we open again? And we don't know when we're going to open again, but that needs to be our charge. And the entire team got together by Zoom, of course, a couple of times a week. We brought the events department, the education department, the marketing department, the operations team, working closely together. They created a 32-page, essentially Bible, I suppose we could say, called our 2020 Reentry Plan, which highlighted everything that we were planning to do and getting started to do right away, including where every sign was going to go to remind people to remain safe, to wash their hands, to wear masks, all of those things. Where every hand sanitizer piece had to go on all of our interactive exhibits, and all of those things. And I am so proud of a couple of things that came out of that. Number one is that the National Museum of the United States Air Force asked us if they could use that document. The Smithsonian Air and Space Museum not only asked us if they could use the document, but then when they saw it, they asked if they could share it across Smithsonian institutions. So it's something that I am so proud of the team that got together to do that. And they put it all together. We reopened on July 13th. And so for the past 6 months, we felt, gosh, we are very safe. We felt so good about that with our guests. But we invited an individual, a consultant for the Michigan Occupational Safety and Health Administration, MIOSHA. They have a 114-point checklist on COVID safety in terms of policies and procedures. And for 3.5 hours, we walked every square foot of both of our buildings. And it turned out what he told us, we got the highest safety score in the state. So I'm so proud of all of the organizations that have gone through this. The Air Zoo in Kalamazoo, Michigan is really upholding our status as a safe place in the community. So I invite all of you down to see all of our airplanes, enjoy all of our interactive exhibits, and I can tell you that you will have a safe experience here, and we will do our best to make sure that happens.
You know, Troy, when I heard you talking about your 2020 vision, instantly it came to me that 2020 vision is perfect. And I know 2020 was probably for the year, but the 2020 vision for the Air Zoo means that you guys are on point, and the fact that you got such high ratings from MIOSHA is testament to the kind of quality that you guys put out and the kind of concern that you have for the people that you want to share your museum with. That's just awesome. I know you're really into the STEM program. Tell us a little bit about the programs that you guys have developed and kind of some of the things that you guys are highlighting for anybody that wants to come in the near future.
Yeah, so over the past 7 years, the Air Zoo has developed over 100 interactive, hands-on science, technology, engineering, art, and math programs for people of all ages. So when they come to the Air Zoo, for example, students on field trips, they get to ride the rides, they get to see all of the amazing artifacts, and our team of incredible educators will bring the science, the technology, the engineering of these aircraft to life for young people, whether it's chemistry or physics, biology. It really runs the gamut of science. We also have all of that on our exhibit floor as well. And of course, when things shut down here at the Air Zoo, our education team had to figure out how do we deliver the best of these programs to young people in their homes, because we wanted to make sure that all of that incredible educational impact that we've been having can somehow continue. And so they took all of their summer camps that we've done for years before, and they've recreated them in a virtual way. So all summer we were delivering virtual science camps to young people all around the country, in fact, all around the world. And the best thing about this was the young people weren't at home just watching a screen and watching our educators do science experiments. The educators created kits that they sent home to the students. And so as our educator was doing a chemistry experiment or playing around with the physics of roller coasters, the young people got to do the exact same thing at home. And the best part about that is we thought, boy, this is really going to spur some interaction with our educators and the students, but the students themselves were talking to each other, saying, wow, when I did this, this happened. What did you do to make that happen? It was just fantastic. And so we've been able to now continue that through winter break camps, spring break camps coming up, and all sorts of scout programs and virtual field trips. So we're very, very proud of how we were able to pivot that. But while we were doing that, and while we were closed and then slowly reopening, we also opened up several new exhibits for people to come and enjoy. Alien Worlds and Androids, all about the robotic exploration of the solar system and how we find exoplanets in stars, in our local cluster. So that has been a fantastic exhibit that people have really enjoyed. We opened up a new exhibit on the life of Amelia Earhart, the women's suffragettes of the early 1900s. And we're working on now, we're going to be opening in just a couple of weeks in early March, an exhibit called We Did It, the real riveting Rosies of World War II. So our team has not stopped taking the best of what we do, and we say, how can we entertain, inspire, and educate every guest who comes through the door through incredible stories of aviation and space.
And Troy, part of the reason I'm here is because I contacted the museum back in December to check on the program that you guys had going in February at the Open Cockpit. What an opportunity to come over and get to sit in some of these old airplanes. Well, because of COVID, you've had to change that, and I get that. But you informed me this morning that you guys had some revelation about open panels on these airplanes, and explain that to our viewers, because I find it fascinating that you can actually look inside the fuselages and see some of the guts of these airplanes. It's extraordinarily well done too.
Open Cockpit Weekends have been just a staple program that we have been doing for so many years, allowing our visitors to sit in the cockpits of some of our most iconic aircraft. Well, of course, in 2021, we had to do things a little bit differently just for the safety of our guests and also for the safety of our aircraft in terms of the cleaning agents we would need to use. So our team, in their fearlessly innovative fashion, as they always do, came up with a new idea, the Panels Off event. So now if you come here in February, and I would suggest we're probably going to extend that into March a little bit because it's been so popular, our team has taken the panels off some remarkable aircraft like our Corsair and Wildcat the B-25, the Ford Trimotor, the T-6, and you can look inside the guts of these aircraft. And I'll tell you, for aviation enthusiasts, it is a remarkable experience to be able to look at all of the different components and talk to our docents about what they all mean and what they all do. But I'll tell you, seeing young children come and look at the T6 when it has the whole side of it, that panel is taken off, and they're thinking about, wow, all of these questions I have about how this giant metal tube can fly. And now I'm seeing all of these pieces. It's almost like looking at the skeleton, the innards of a human and how it all works. But the great thing about it, especially for kids, is that it not only answers some questions, but it gives them so many others to be thinking about, to be going home and to be researching. So it's been really popular so far, a chance to get up close and personal and hear from our team about all of the great things that are inside.
Yeah, and I know we talked this morning, and I'm seriously an airplane guy, and I know you're more of a space guy. Tell us a little bit about the space articles that you have here, and how did the Air Zoo be able to accommodate that? How did you guys get into the space program? I know I think there was a museum of some sort that you guys got a lot of this stuff from, but if you could explain that, I think that would help our people that have a space interest in coming here.
Yes, well, thank you. I am definitely a space guy. I have a degree in astrophysics. I worked for NASA on the Hubble Space Telescope, so it has always been a passion of mine. And yes, we were started out as the Kalamazoo Aviation History Museum, but in the mid-2000s, the Jackson Area Community College over in Jackson, Michigan, that had the Space and Science Center over there, realized that was not part of their vision going forward. And so all of the assets that they have collected from NASA, from the Smithsonian and other places, they wanted to find a good home for. And we were so fortunate that we had the space to do that our team wanted to already expand the story of flight beyond aviation. And so we were able, through granting opportunities from some fantastic foundations here, to bring all of those assets over here to the Air Zoo.
I've been coming here for the last 5 or 6 years, and you guys are famous for me to have a couple of really rare, unique one-of airplanes. You have the SR-71B, you have the Curtiss Ascender, the XP-55. You have a couple of very unique Waco articles. I'm looking right now at the Lockheed F-117. Tell me how you guys got that, and I'm stunned that I'm looking at it this close. I know it's a fairly recent acquire for you guys, so if you go into a little bit of that, I think this article alone is going to draw a lot of people to the museum.
Indeed, this F-117 already has, and while our aircraft are unique, some of them only one of a kind, this whole experience here in this building, this restoration center, is unique. This is part of all of our guests' experience, and as you can see, it is an active restoration center. So there's a team behind me right now working on the F-117. We also have a Wildcat and an SBD that were on the bottom of Lake Michigan for at least 65 years that our teams are working on. And when you come here, you have the opportunity to see their work, but also to interact with them and ask them questions. So in terms of the F-117, that's always a big question asked. How did the Air Zoo become the first non-government museum in the country to be able to display an F-117? And I'll tell you, it just began with a relationship. I got to meet the team from the National Museum of the United States Air Force, and they were just remarkable. Roberta Carruthers and Mark Miller and Michael Rowland and the rest of the team in talking about the opportunity to bring an F-117 here to the Air Zoo. They asked so many questions about how we do our restoration and just everything about the Air Zoo, and it was just decided that it just made sense to have one here. And so it was in late November that I flew out to Tonopah, Nevada, and in fact I flew out with my daughter, who was my videographer for the trip. And we went and we signed off on this F-117 behind me, tail number 817, nicknamed Shaba. And we got to go onto the base, we watched it being put onto the truck, and then in fact, for the next 7 days, my daughter and I followed this F-117 home on the truck, and what a treat it was. We created lots of videos of the aircraft actually going through the small towns of Nebraska, and what a treat that was when we saw people driving up behind it. And clearly the big question that was always asked was, where is this alien ship going, and how did it get on a truck in the first place? So it was so much fun to see, but even cooler than that, every time we stopped, there was a crowd around this aircraft. There were people, many people were like, boy, what is this? And when was it flown? And what did it do? But there were also people, unexpectedly, that had stories of the F-117 program, and this one in particular. And I'll tell you very quickly, out in Central City, Nebraska, it's about an hour and a half outside of Omaha. The truck stopped, and there was a police chief there, and he was looking around, and all of a sudden he said, I have not seen this airplane in 30 years. And immediately I said, I think I need to talk to you. And he was talking about how he was at Tonopah for 3 years while the F-117 program was a dark program. And he was a part of basically the fire suppression team. So they were making sure that the crews, the aircraft, all of the buildings were safe during this program. So it was, every night at dusk, he and his team were ready for flights going on all night until early morning, and what great stories he had. So we were able to bring this here. We are restoring it. We're hoping that by the end of the year, we are going to have it fully restored with all the leading edges back on, fully repainted in its beautiful black. But please, come enjoy it well before that, because we say the learning isn't just when it's done, but the process of getting it there.
We're talking with Troy Thrash, the CEO President of the Kalamazoo Air Museum. And Troy, we've covered pretty much everything that I need to hear. Do you have any final comments for my viewers, and maybe an invitation for them to, as to why they need to come here and why they need to support the museum?
Well, I'll tell you, the Air Zoo in the last 41 years has grown to an absolutely unique experience not found anywhere else in the world. We are one part Air and Space Museum with over 100 aircraft and spacecraft. We are one part theme park. We have rides for kids young and old. We have a Ferris wheel, a hot air balloon ride, and we have 4 state-of-the-art flight simulators for anyone who really wants to take their hand and see what it's like to fly a real aircraft. And oh, by the way, if you go in there with a child, be careful, because they're going to barrel roll you for an entire 4 minutes. So you got to be careful there. But so we are part theme park, and we have a theater as well, and that part hands-on education center with our interactive exhibits. So we really are fun and education and inspiration for the whole family. In fact, we were recently rated the #6 Air and Space experience in the country by USA Today. And I'll tell you, being behind the Smithsonian, the National Museum of the U.S. Air Force, Kennedy Space Center, that's not so bad, just to be named in the same sentence with them. So something we're really proud of. So I invite all of you, young and old, to see everything that the Air Zoo has to offer. I can promise it is going to be the best 3, 4, 5 hours of your week, of your month. As I said before, it will be incredibly safe and enjoyable, and we would love to see you here at the Air Zoo in Kalamazoo, Michigan, real soon.
And Troy, finally, give us the website address for people to get online and find out a little bit more on their own about the Air Museum.
Yes, you can check out everything that the Air Zoo has to offer on our website at airzoo.org. All of the basics in terms of where we are, directions to get here, but information on our aircraft, on our exhibits and spacecraft as well, on our education program. So everything you need to know is there, including how to contact us with more questions.
Awesome, Troy. Again, I thank you for taking the time out to do this interview with Everything Airplanes. I'm going to be getting this out in the next week or so, and hopefully my followers will share this with other interested parties, and we'll get the word out that the Air Zoo is open. It's in good shape. You guys have all sorts of interactive exhibits that people can take advantage of while they're here, and I'm going to go around and spend the rest of the day just enjoying myself in this place. So once again, I just thank you for the opportunity to come and share this time with you.
Well, Jamie, thank you for the opportunity to speak with me, to tour with me, and allow me to speak with your viewers as well. And thank you, Jamie, for really your own mission in educating and inspiring our country and our world about the miracle, the wonders of flight. It is truly an honor to have met you and to be part of your work as well.
All right, guys, this is Jamie with everythingairplanes.com. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'd appreciate a subscribe. Hit that subscribe button so you can see all my future posts. I've got more information on my website, www.everythingairplanes.com, and hopefully we'll be doing this again with another air museum in the near future. Jamie signing off. Thanks again. Take care. Bye.